All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 386 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. If you're watching on the screen, you already know what time it is. I don't like to get peeved or pissed off at certain things. I really don't. And it's nothing to do with Cody Benjamin per se. It doesn't. And it's not just him personally. But when I saw this every roster ranked, and it had my Atlanta Falcons at number 32, I'm going to voice my opinion about that. And like I said, it's not about him per se, but it's just the overall message that they do to Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta sports in general. Because I saw it on Twitter, we as a fan base need to stop listening to outsiders. Man, I really did not want to start off like this, but we're already into it now. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Like I said, I talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. I can be found on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. I'm also on YouTube and Rumble if you want to watch the video side of this. Thank you guys for the support. I really, really appreciate it. The numbers are looking good throughout the week, and it's all thanks to you guys. But I'm going to get into this topic per se. And I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. I don't want to linger too long about this, but we've seen all the changes that have been happening in the second year of Arthur Smith, coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Terry Fontenot, the GM of the Atlanta Falcons. And for the most part, everything's been looking good. It's been positive. Do we have elite talent like we used to have at quarterback? No. Do we have elite talent at wide receiver? That's debatable, and there's various reasons why that's debatable, and I don't want to get into the wide receiver position in general, but you can't touch receivers now. I'll just leave it at that. Running back needs a little bit of help. Tyler Algiers coming in. Cordell Patterson will fill in. Dame Williams going. We got some talent. We have some talent. The front seven, the offensive line is probably like the shakiest part. Our secondary is way better than advertised because A.J. Terrell is probably the best corner in the league. We added some guys at linebacker, and our special teams is okay. Young Wei Koo kicking the football, and we got a couple of guys who can return. But for us to be ranked 32nd, I think that's a little bit disrespectful. And the thing about it is, like I said, I don't fault Cody Benjamin because this roster is ranked based on Cody Benjamin. Based according to him. Now, mind you, I'm gonna give you a little bit of background on him, and I'm not here to trash him. I'm not. It's not about him. But he's been with CBS Sports since 2017. He's an author and writer and was raised around Philly sports, but now lives in Minnesota with his wife and two kids. If this guy is not talking about the Eagles or the Vikings, all the other 30 teams should not even take his opinion to heart at all. They shouldn't. And this is the thing, because me personally, I'm not even worried about us being number 32. The problem is people listening to this and thinking this is okay. They thinking this is okay. Like, nothing against him, but you don't have the credentials. And I know this may sound controversial because a lot of people weigh this a lot on people who are nationally known as far as a guy on CBS Sports. But if you're not local or if you're not well entrenched into the team, your opinion is not valid of any of these other teams. Like, my opinion is not valid for the Jets. My opinion is not valid for the Broncos, any other team outside of the Falcons, in my opinion. And in some cases, you can really say that my opinion is not valid for the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a guy that likes to talk about my team on YouTube or on the podcast avenues. Who am I? I'm just a fan. You don't have to go to school to know about this stuff. You just need to know how to go to school to do like journalism. And in some cases, you might not even have to do that. But that's another story. This guy, I'm pretty sure he means well. I'm pretty sure that he means well. But we, as a fan base, have to understand that these guys aren't the end-all, be-all. You got excellent people across YouTube and local media in the Atlanta area that could tell you much better things about your team. And one thing I like about Atlanta sports, we are very, very critical of our teams. we have issues within our own fan base and in the media for being too hard on the teams. So that gives you more credence to actually listen to your local people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't understand why I'm looking at Twitter and not understand it's Twitter, but people are up in arms about us being ranked 32nd according to this guy. And he's not the only one. There are other people around the country that do sports media that think the Falcons are the bottom of the barrel because we lost Matt Ryan. Listen, I get it. Matt Ryan is, well, now he's being recognized as an elite quarterback in the NFL. You lose somebody like that, of course it's going to be drop off. But at the same time, we're not going to sit and act like everything else that has happened with the Falcons is not positive. We need to, even our own fan base, dude. You got some guys in the fan base now that are Colts fans, which it's none of my business, but you just have to understand. It goes back to what I'm saying, how hard our fan base is on our own teams. So therefore, I'll say it again, this guy, why would you listen to him? He doesn't know the ins and outs of the team. He watched the transactions and he just like, okay, because of this, it's like this. And I don't understand why people give it so much weight. I just don't know. I don't know. I did not want to turn this into a rant, but it just really, really, it peeves me because it doesn't have to be this way. Sometimes I get it. The 2012 season, the 28-3, how everything was botched with the Julio Jones situation, Calvin Ridley, all this stuff going on. I get it. I don't even want to go back to the Bobby Petrino, Jim Mora time. I get it. I understand why people feel this way towards this team, but it comes a time that every year you have to just step up and say, you know what? I see what this team is doing, and I'm going to give it a shot. And this is one time that you may want to give it a shot because there's so many things that have changed within this organization. There's a lot of changes. Outside of like 2 or 3 players, everybody who was around for 28-3 is gone. So this is truly a new era in Falcons football. This truly is a new era in Falcons football. This is truly a situation where we are looking at a transition from a guy who's been with us for 14, 13 plus years. And we'll open up a new chapter to a couple of other guys that may carry the torch into a situation where a new identity, a new era, a new culture of the Falcons could take place. And I think it is. A lot of people are already saying that they're trying to write off Desmond Ridder already, talking about going for Will Anderson or Bryce Young. Stop it. Stop it. Y'all not even giving these guys a chance to play on the team yet. You're not even you're not even letting this team collectively try to win some football games. And because of what Cody Benjamin says, and like I said, I'm not diminishing him as a person, but Philadelphia and Minnesota, that's where he's been. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I couldn't find it. Has Cody Benjamin ever been doing anything Falcons related? Ever? Seriously. We really have to understand, like, all right, I get it. We lost one of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback the Falcons franchise has ever had, but that doesn't mean that this roster that's been assembled in the past year or so is not better than the Jets. That doesn't mean that this roster is not better than the Lions. You can go from 31 all the way up to maybe 25, 26. And then once you get to the Patriots, that's questionable too. And you look at the Panthers, that's questionable. Titans now, I think the Titans is being shafted right now. I don't think their roster is 22nd. Once again, I don't think that. The Saints, the 21st, I don't think they're 21st. You might could knock them down a little bit because of their quarterback situation. But 21 is fair. The Jets at 20, come on. That's based on the draft. That's based on the draft because that team had nothing prior to the draft. Thibodeau and Sauce Gardner, all them guys are coming to the Jets. That's based on, and you mean a bunch of rookies going to make them better than 12 other teams? I mean, come on now. Come on now. We got to think about this for a second. The 49ers 18, and I don't even want to go through this entire thing right here. It just doesn't make too much of sense in my book. The Dolphins 14th. I mean, I don't have much else to say about it. It just I'm not knocking this guy. I don't want anybody to think that I'm going after him. But I just want you to understand, like, this goes to him and anybody else. Nobody in LA should be trying to rank any other team outside of the Rams and the Chargers. That's just, unless if you're one of these guys who travel to every team all the time and see what's going on. I'll just put it like this. How do you think he feel about Tyler Algier? Honestly, how do you think he feel about Tyler Algier? Do we even know anything about Tyler Algier? How do you think he feel about Alden Tate? Why do you think he feel about Rashad Evans or AJ Terrell? Now, he may say something about AJ Terrell because AJ Terrell has been in the national spotlight. That's how you know about these teams. But what do you know about a Justin Schaefer? You know, I mean, sometimes we got to really sit back and think, like, all right, who's talking and why? This guy should have, how do he know that the Bills is the number one roster ranked? He's been around Philly sports. He should know everything about the Eagles. But now lives in Minnesota. He should know enough about the Vikings. There's no reason that he should know anything about the Arizona Cardinals. Not enough to rank them like this. Am I tripping? Let me know. Because this is one reason why I like to do the show that I do when I talk about Pacific teams, my favorite teams, because I feel like I can give you enough insight and opinion on what these teams are about because I watch and I go over these teams every day. He does not have the capacity, him or anybody else do not have the capacity, or anybody else who do what he does, don't have the capacity to follow all 32 teams and rank them like that. They just don't. They don't have the capacity to do it. He has no idea what Rashad Bateman is like for the Ravens. So why are we listening to these people? Why? I have nothing else to say. If you like this commentary, hit the like button. Share this podcast. If you want to subscribe, all the links are down in the description. If you want to subscribe to the podcast avenue or the YouTube or Rumble avenue, thank you guys for all the support. I don't like rambling like this. I don't like ranting like this, but sometimes it's warranted because no disrespect to this guy, but what does he really know for us to be 32nd? What do we know about any team outside of Philly in Minnesota? He grew up around Philly sports. He lives in Minnesota. He should have no idea. To be honest, he really don't have any idea what the Saints are doing, or the Chiefs, or the Cowboys, or any other team. Am I tripping? I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me know. Give me some feedback on the podcast avenue if I don't know what I'm talking about. Give me a 5-star rating if you like what I see on like what you see on the podcast avenue. And hit the like button and give me some feedback in the comment section on any of the visual platforms. I really appreciate y'all. We're gonna go into Friday on a good note. You know, this is a good way to start a Friday, right? Enjoy your guys' weekend, man. Y'all guys take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.